remembers Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Have you noticed? In Trump's Washington, Chicken Little got a cabinet job. FAA head Sean Duffy making is a family reality show while plane fall from the sky. Relax, everything is fine, Duffy says. Meanwhile, planes are scraping runways, pilots are dying, passengers are evacuating on slides, and the FAA is being treated like somebody found it in the clearance aisle. So tonight, we are not doing panic. We are doing math, and math does not care about Sean Duffy's press smile.
Let's compare iPhone to Trump phones. Not viral videos, not TikTok panic, not somebody's cousin yelling at baggage claim. Excuse me while I get some pull-up in. We're talking total U.S. civil aviation accidents, big airlines, commuter carriers, air taxis, helicopters, small planes, the whole aviation bucket. Trump's 2018 to 2020 years averaged about 24.2 aviation accidents per week. Biden's 2021 to 2024 years averaged about 23.5 per week. Trump is the winner, 24.2. So no, crashes did not magically begin under Trump. But here is where the receipt gets spicy. Trump's 2018 to 2020 years averaged about 7.6 aviation deaths per week. Biden's years averaged about 6.6 deaths per week. Trump is the winner, 7.6 aviation deaths per week. So when they say, everything was safer because Trump was in charge, tell them. The numbers said, sit your clown behind down.
And now here comes 2026. The official full-year total is not finalized yet, because the year is still happening. But the warning lights are already blinking. What has Chicken Little Duffy been working on? March 22, 2026, LaGuardia, Air Canada Express, operated by Jazz, collides with a fire truck on the runway. 2 pilots dead, 39 people transported to hospitals. May 8, 2026, Denver. Frontier Flight 4345 strikes a person on runway 17L. Passengers evacuate by emergency slides. And the FAA's own incident page is already stacked with 2026 entries. Cessnas down, small planes flipping, emergency returns, wing clips, runway problems, one after another after another. That is not a spreadsheet anymore. People are dying and Chicken Little is working on a reality show. That is the smoke alarm screaming while Duffy stands underneath it saying, "Who burned toast?"
Now let's talk about the FAA cuts. Trump and Duffy did not walk into a perfect system. They walked into an FAA already under pressure. Old technology, controller shortages, overtime, stress, a safety system held together by professionals doing too much with too little. And what did they do? They cut people. The FAA fired around 350 to fewer than 400 probationary workers. Duffy said no air traffic controllers and no critical safety workers were fired, but reporting and unions said some of those workers supported safety inspectors, radar, landing systems, navigation aids, and aviation safety operations. Reuters, that is the part they want you to miss. Maybe they did not fire the pilot, but they started pulling people away from the machinery that keeps the pilot informed. That is not efficiency. That is Chicken Little with budget scissors.
And let me be clear, Duffy has 9 children. I am not saying Sean Duffy personally caused every crash. I am not saying Trump pushed a magic red button and made planes fall out of the sky. That would be cartoon logic. But accountability is not magic. When you run transportation, you own transportation. When you run the FAA, you own the FAA. When the system is already short-staffed, outdated, stressed, and flashing red, you do not walk in and say, "Let's fire hundreds of people and call it reform." That is not leadership. That is taking batteries out of the smoke detector and then blaming the smoke. We see Duffy's sponsors, like Boeing.
So the next time Chicken Little Duffy says, the sky is not falling, remember, he's right, at an alarming rate. Over 3 per day, the sky may not be falling, but the safety net is fraying. The numbers were already serious. The deaths were already real. The FAA was already stressed. And 2026 is already giving us warning signs before the year is even halfway over. America does not need a chicken screaming at clouds. America needs adults keeping planes in the sky. Subscribe, share, comment below, because this safety system should not be flying on excuses and duct tape.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy going back to his reality TV roots.
Put your seatbelts on.
But this time it's not The Real World, the hit 90s show, but a new 5-part docuseries premiering on YouTube in June, with Duffy and his family cruising across the country over the last 7 months as part of the nation's America 250 celebrations. But this road trip is facing backlash.
Welcome to Montana.
At a time when many Americans are struggling with high prices at the pump.
It fits any budget to do a road trip.
Former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg calling the show brutally out of touch. Duffy did conduct official government business paid for by taxpayers in some of the same locations where filming took place. But he's pushing back on critics, arguing production happened in short windows.